Tonight on NewsHour Special, Faces and Style, the episode of Annie Ellison. Born in 1992, Annie is the daughter of two industry fixtures, father Sean Ellison, a JMA Producer of the Year, mother Yolanda Foster Ellison, former film actress who later became a leading Jollywood talent manager. During Annie's teenage years, she was a high achiever in school. Her parents once hoped she would chart a path outside entertainment, until her musical ability became impossible to ignore. In 2007, as Jackalodian prepared a more diverse teen musical comedy, 16-year-old Annie, who had never appeared on the big screen, landed a lead role on her mother's recommendation, launching her acting career. The next year, Annie stepped into the spotlight at the glorious premiere and faced her first wave of attack on her appearance. Critics called her ordinary, said that at 16 she lacked spark and even looked older than her age. She had naturally upturned eyes, stronger brows, a beautiful classic ethnic nose, and full lips set against a pronounced bony framework with low facial fat. Besides her look, Annie was also accused of riding family connections. She later said she nearly quit, but her parents urged her to keep going, and she herself knew that once she drew on family resources, there's no going back. She kept working. When the show aired, audiences began to hear the musical talent beneath the tentative acting, and Annie signed a record deal, officially entering the pop arena. In 2011, after 2 years of preparation, Annie released her debut studio album Annie in 2011. Riding the surge of streaming, it topped charts for a time. Packaging and buzz also played their part. In promotion, Annie unveiled a look radically different from her early days. Freshly blonde and beautiful features made her instantly an idol to teens. In interviews around the time, Annie denied any surgical procedures, deflecting on specifics and attributing the shift to makeup, styling, and weight loss. While her nose appeared to differ from the album cover, side-by-side frames showed the illusion was cosmetic. Actual dorsal height and width were unchanged. The biggest transformation was in facial shape. A lengthened chin that only filler or implant can achieve smoothed her formerly angular outline into a more flowing contour, a change dieting alone cannot produce. Many specialists read this as V-line jaw reduction, the only age-appropriate approach for a young patient. Apparent hairline shifts, they noted, likely came from wig placement, also a major driver of perceived facial change. In general, the album was a success. Reviewers credited relentless work from the young singer and her team, noting that though just 19, the record sounded fully realized and impressively mature. With the debut behind her, Annie pivoted to pop R&B, and later went independent on her parents' advice, with her mother as manager. In 2013, at 21, she released her second studio album, All X Mine, also her first R&B project. Despite solid craft, wider audiences didn't bite. Without the masterminds of a full-service label, Annie seemed to have lost some aura. Fans felt the music, visuals, and rollout were incompatible. Sales lagged. Nominations came, but no wins followed. Around this time, her nose drew notice again. The once mercurial, makeup-driven look gave way to a more refined form, even under light makeup, narrower width, a more defined tip, and a subtly raised bridge, all classic signs of nasal injections or a rhinoplasty. Across the two album covers, Annie's face read more mature, dialing down youthful softness. Over the next 2 years, All X Mine slowly won more listeners. In 2015's Jet Ball, Annie returned to the red carpet with darker hair and minimal makeup. Overall, her features held steady. The notable difference was likely on her chin's maintenance treatments that kept moving it laterally forward. In interviews, she teased a very special film for 2016. That September, on House of Mirth with Catherine Parker and Jade Rutherford, another facial detail sparked chatter, an increasingly upturned upper lip. Some pointed to a philtrum shortening procedure, while others argued it was upper lip flip injection instead. In 2016, Annie attended the premiere of Top Dog, Underdog, adapted from the award-winning play of the same name. On camera, her lips looked noticeably fuller, though shifts in makeup style likely contributed. There were also signs of alar contracture in the nose, which led some to further confirm that she had previously undergone implant rhinoplasty. In profile, her chin appeared less projected, suggesting earlier filler had been absorbed. At a 2017 event, the 25-year-old once again stunned the crowd. Many viewers said she had reached her prime. The images show angular outside facial contours, with a jawline that seemed to benefit from sculpting by injectables. Nasal contracture seemed improved through injections upon rhinoplasty implants, which makes the nose tip rounder without breaking facial harmony. Her cheeks also seemed to return to the early, slightly hollowed look. By 2018, she went on to launch a hairline for her own community, Piccola Salon Hair Supply. She appeared to have dissolved nasal maintenance fillers. The upward rotation and contracture of the nose were visible in the campaign posters. The effect gave her face a more distinct ethnic signature than in her earliest public images. At the same time, signs of lip injections became more apparent. In 2020, along with many influential figures in the industry, Annie posted a video of her online speech against racism, sexism, and division in general. On camera, she wore sheer makeup and looked broadly consistent with 2018. Observers pointed to a possible endoscopic facelift, which would allow the lower eyelid to cover previously exposed sclera and volumize the under-eye area, give more prominence to the midface, creating a more amiable appearance. In 2022, at 30 years old, Annie was supposed to put out her third studio album, but she was caught up in a lawsuit with her former label, who then allegedly leaked the master tape of all songs in progress from her upcoming album. The next day after the album leaked, she was spotted in a corner coffee shop with friends, and people were shocked by her 30-year-old original face with no makeup. Beyond the expected signs of aging, some believed she pursued a secondary nose job to limit further nostril contracture and to avoid an overly obvious nostril show. In 2023, Annie broke the internet with her platinum hair look in a shining couture dress. People widely responded in accusing her of trying to be a white woman, but some said Annie was fed up by the haters and were trolling them with the white look. Many also felt she looked markedly different from her earlier self. Aside from a more refined nose, the inner corner of her eyes seemed closer, most likely caused by a higher nose bridge that draws the skin on both sides. Comparisons with previous photos suggest her lip shape did not materially change, and the perceived difference came from makeup technique. Through 2024, at age 32, she signaled a creative return, posting studio photos amid message she would feature on a country singer's new album. Fans noticed that with natural skin laxity, her lower eyelids had shifted back toward their earlier position. Her facial soft tissue and lips looked fuller. This period likely involved facial fat transfer combined with fresh lip injections to counter aging effects. Public reaction was mixed, with some saying she's done a better job on her face than her music. 4 years on, in 2028, the 36-year-old released her third studio album, also her first jazz album without warning. Titled The Bluest Eyes, she called it her last album. She said it had no commercial aim and was a jazz record made genuinely true to myself. In the posters come with the album, Annie openly showed fine lines around the eyes, slightly descended lids and smile lines. Her nose still showed mild contracture but not prominently, and she appeared to have dissolved part of the lip filler. Her chin remained stable through the years, which suggests an early implant rather than temporary injections. In a later interview, asked why a jazz album now, she answered, "Jazz is black music, I am black, but it took me too long to realize the connection between us. This is the kind of album that if you love it, you'll love it. If you've spent your whole life trying to be someone you're not, you'll understand it."